We will be getting into our next game. Game number 2 comes from our Danish Zerg player, Crede. Now, when I first got this email, I was waiting with arms wide open. But Crede let me know that that was indeed the wrong Crede. And he's in fact from Denmark. Now, Crede is a Diamond 3 Zerg player. If you want to follow Crede, he can be found at twitch.tv Crede, that's CREDE 64 Twitch. On YouTube, I'll link his YouTube. It is his name, Christian Franz Maurits, which I probably butchered. So I'm very, very sorry, Crede. But I can promise you, I don't speak many languages. I speak a little bit of French, a little bit of English, and I butcher English already. So now he will be facing off against a Protoss player in this, and we all know Protoss is the cheesiest of the races. They have a lot of cheese at their disposal, so we're going to have to see what exactly is our Protoss getting into. Here we go. Down here in the bottom left corner, playing as the red Protoss, we're just going to call him Pizzy. And up right, waiting with his arms wide open, we have Crede as the blue Zerg. Now, in CVP, there's obviously a lot of cheeses that Protoss can do, but Protoss is fairly limited with their cannon rush just because of creep. Now, a lot of Zerg obviously are very good at immediately going into that Ravager transition to shut down cannon rushes, but it seems that we have this lonely probe coming across the map quite early. Maybe looking to cannon rush the expand or go right into the main base. The forge is down and the second probe is on the way. So it looks like this is going to be a very committed cannon rush, not a fake out. Crede sends a drone down for his expansion. And Pizzy's just going to wait here. Going to contemplate, where did he want to put that pylon? But the pylon is down. Crede does see it. His overlord sees it, pulls 4 drones to deal with the initial pylon. But remember, there's a second probe on the way. These 4 drones are clawing along best as they can, and Pizzy's now sending a second probe to hide in the corner here, while Crede deals with the first cannon rush, possibly get some damage. Now, Crede doesn't see the second cannon rush. The first cannon is going down for Pizzy. All of the drones are now pulled. You have to get us around, but you can't because of this pylon. The DPS of drones obviously isn't that great. And meanwhile, Crede's doing all of this. There's a pylon in the back of his base already. Pizzy needs to make sure that that probe takes these drones away, and the second cannon is down. Cancelled. There's a lot of lost mining time now for Crede. And Pizzy has that sneaky cannon up. Now it seems like Pizzy's just putting down cannon. Oh, loses the probe. Good job by Crede. But once again, Crede. Oh, I think he'll know now. Crede just sees 2 cannons popping up outside of his expand. Now, we're gonna have to see what he does here. There's 4 cannons, another pylon. It's a very, very committed cannon rush. Back at home, there's oversaturated minerals, a probe hanging out in nowhere land, contemplating its life. 4 pylons. Oh, 3 pylons and a cannon, because why not? And these cannons are going to go to work on the hatchery. Now, Crede immediately puts people on gas. He has 2 gases coming, and he should be throwing a roach warren down as soon as he can. Now, what this is going to let him do is it's going to allow him to get Ravagers out. Ravagers obviously outrange cannons when it comes to corrosive biles, and he'll slowly be able to pick away at this. Now, you may be thinking, What's the point? Why is he even staying in this game? Obviously, his opponent has an economic lead. Well, you have to think, right now, there's 7 cannons down at 150 minerals apiece. That's over 1,000 minerals committed just through cannons alone. You add in the extra 500, 600, you're talking 1,650 has been already committed to cannon rushing. Meanwhile, he doesn't have well, he has an expansion now, but only has 17 workers to Crede's 29. If Crede's able to pick away at this, he's going to take a huge economic lead. He just has to throw down a couple expansions, get his minerals saturated, and we'll be ready to go. Oh, and Crede sneaks a base down in the bottom right. Now, sometimes when you're... Oh, is Pizzy going to find it? I don't know what gave Pizzy the idea to look down here. He has no idea. So close yet so far. Pizzy doesn't have the money for cannons. This Overlord decides he's going to be John Rambo, dive in, sees that the natural expand isn't done yet, so there hasn't been much behind this. Pizzy is now just getting into gas. Now when you're playing Protoss, gas is very, very important, just based off the fact that almost all your units need it. Now the Ravagers are out. The Ravagers are going to be picking away at these cannons. It takes about 5 Ravagers, I believe, to one-shot a cannon. With battles doing 60 a shot. There's a lot of drones here. And Crede's just going to bake up a bit of money. And slowly these cannons will fall. Over back, Pizzy is now just getting a cybernetic score. Not one fighting unit on the field yet. This probe is just contemplating life, wondering, why do we have to fight? Is there a need? I don't think there's a need. He just wants to be friends with the Zerg. What's wrong with that? Back up top, we have these cannons that are still slowly being picked off. No idea why Pizzy is still committed to this. There's not much you can do. There's no Void Rays out. There's nothing really out that can do damage. He has somehow unsaturated his mineral line here that was perfectly saturated. Or oversaturated. And, oh, of course, when your cannon rush fails, the game's called Legacy of the Void for a reason. You gotta go Void Rays. It looks like the last of these cannons will be falling. Crede will probably move out to take an expansion, maybe double expand just to catch up. No idea why you're putting down 2 shield batteries at this time. It takes way too long to make. They're going to be corrosive bile down. You're just committing money where you don't need to commit money. But I guess when you have 1 production building, I guess Nexus as well, Nexi, you gotta, I don't know, spend money somehow. We do have Spore Crawlers going down for Crede. Now, I am assuming Crede will be anticipating skytoss out of this. I know it is very popular with people to go skytoss right out of a cannon rush, but I don't think Pizzy knew what he was going to be doing. I think he thought, I won this game, I'm just gonna make cannons and that's that. But StarCraft doesn't just end when you make a couple cannons. You know, maybe when you're me and you see a cannon go up and you panic and you don't know what to do. But, you know, for people who know how to play the game, it's not where the game ends. Now we do have an expansion going down for Crede, just 1 for the moment. Does have a lot of minerals, he could double expand. But he does have this expansion down in the bottom right, which Pizzy is now aware of. The only issue, Pizzy has no units. Oh god. And he's supply blocked. There's one Void Ray coming over. 2 Void Ray, 3 Void Ray, and a bunch of Chrono supply blocks. 3 Void Rays are going to come over and tell this queen and 2 queens and these Spore Crawlers get the hell out of their base. No, they're not. I guess Oh, no, here we go. One Void Ray almost going down. The Queens, no energy for Transfuse. They did take one Void Ray to manage to pull into the Spore. Hydras are on the field now, which speaks bad. Crede saying, I don't need this base, I'm leaving. Pulls his drones and his poor Queens. Cowards running away. And recalls. Instead of taking the 12 probes to the 4th base, Busy decides, I'm going to recall them because walking is for chumps. There is a lot of drones on the field right now, 63 workers. Crede's getting another expansion down. He could probably use a couple more. There is 4 bases going up for Pizzy. Oh yes, it's because he ran these ones away. Totally forgot. He needs to transfer some drones back down, or sack the base, do something. Because at this point, that is insane oversaturation. But to his benefit, Pizzy's just making Void Rays. And Void Rays are not a great counter to Hydralisks. Okay, it looks like Pizzy has decided this will be his final stand. He's able to make cameras. Oh, of course. Turns on prismatic alignment for units that aren't armored. He should be able to snipe that hatchery now, though. And down. The 8 Void Rays now on the field. They're looking pretty dangerous. There are a lot of drones on the field, so there should be more units coming out. There's the Hydra production going up. And there's +1 for the Hydralisks and Groove Spine, so they can get a little bit more distance on their shots. However, there are 7 Void Rays making their way into the Zerg's main base. There's only 4 Hydras and a Queen right now, and that's not going to do much. He's going to have to wait for his reinforcements, but it looks like he's able to snipe the Hydra den, so this does mean production on Hydralisks are going to drop significantly. 1 Void Ray goes down. Oh, loses 3 Void Rays. I don't know if that's... I don't know if you can justify 3 Void Rays for that. But Pizzy is now taking a 5th base. 5 bases. Pizzy, the macro god. Oof. I don't know if this is a great move by Crede moving out right now. I guess Pizzy's not even making Void Rays anymore. He made 1. Why would you chrono these? Crede's like, welcome back. Oh, cannons, nope. But there is a unprotected base here. And really the only defensive structures are, oh, of course. Wow. The Great Wall of Cannons is now up. And it looks like Crede has found them, so he should be able to gun these down. The Void Rays, there's only 5 now are coming in. This is not a good engagement for Pizzy. Now, I think Pizzy's major design flaw might be exposed here. When he built this base, he thought, oh, there's a base over... Oh. Somebody help that guy. Anyway, when he built this base, he's like, oh, there's a Zerg base right over here. So I'm going to build all my cannons facing them. Well, if this Zerg army just decides to wander down, your shield batteries are exposed, all the probes are exposed, it's not going to look good. But a couple wings, if they manage to go up here, will be able to do a lot of damage. And it currently is 5 Void Rays against 26 Hydras. 26 +1 Hydras. There's no upgrade on the Void Rays. Looks like the wings are going to run in. Going to go into the main, but, you know, all those probes have been recalled to the 4th. I don't know if you know that, Crede. Well, how could you? Oh my god. I feel like Pizzy played that one campaign mission where you use Zerg tool at the end times, you have to hold out. and kill as many units as you can. And he just fell in love with clicking B and then C. You know, maybe he thinks that void rays and cannons are the only thing in the game. We don't know, but it seems to be working if he's in Diamond 3. Better than I am. We got Hydras here reinforcing. We now have the mobility, so the speed upgrade for the Hydralisks through Spine. But there is +1 attack for Flyers now, and it's not going to do much for these 6 Void Rays. It's too many Hydras. Lurkers are going to go to town on these static defenses. Obviously, Lurkers get an added bonus because static defenses are armored. Battery overcharge, and then flies away. And then built a Tempest. I feel like our boy Pizzy has just been flying by the seat of his pants ever since the cannon rush didn't work. Just now trying to make carriers. This game looks done. But knowing cannon rushers, they seem to stay in the game longer than most. So maybe Pizzy has a trick up his sleeve, but you know, he still has 2 mining bases, but no production buildings. It's the only production he has, and he's going to send those carriers in. Sadly, our friend, you need interceptors to fight Hydralisks, and when there's more Hydralisks and you have interceptors, you're probably not going to win. Oh, 1 Stargate. Oh, it's going to pop! Oh, gets a Tempest. Oof. Currently have 3 carriers of Void Ray and a Tempest with no detection against 38 Hydralisks. It's not looking good for Pizzy. I think our Cannon Rusher is learning a very important lesson about cheese. And that when you get a little too overcommitted with cheese, you hold out as long as you can. Cheese goes moldy, it spoils. Next thing you know, you got all this moldy cheese, unless it's blue cheese, but you got all this moldy, spoiled cheese. What do you do with moldy, spoiled cheese? Well, Crede's gonna teach you in about 10 seconds. You throw it in the trash. You say, what are you doing in this game? This is my game. He still has a Ravager from the beginning of the game, which is impressive. I hope that he doesn't die. That is now the one goal of Crede. If you want to win this game, you make sure that Ricky the Ravager over here doesn't die. Pushes in. These cannons are no match. There's too many Hydralisks. And, oof. The 4th base will go down. There's 5 units. I guess the carriers have full interceptors, but there's so many Hydralisks on the field. You have to leave this game, Pizzy. Save yourself a shred of decency, my man. Hydras are probably frustrated, saying, oh my god, I'm gonna have to go and kill every building in this game. These poor drones are just walking to their death. I think this might be more frustrating. Oh, and the Hydras are back. Uh-oh. Ooh, sour. Putting the hatchery in his opponent's natural because Pizzy never used it because, you know, it wasn't until about 9 minutes he expanded to there. Looks like 1 carrier will go down. I don't even think he has a Nexus up to recall. 1 carrier goes down, and Crede takes the win, telling Protosses around the world you can take your cannon rush and shove it. That was a fun one. That's a classic cheese. That might be the earliest cheese that's still relevant. Obviously, you can't 4-pool anymore. 4-pool is pretty impressive, but God, the fact that cannon rushes have stood the test of time since the days of Brood War.